HAARP has the ability to put an energetic shield around the planet. There are more and more efforts to manipulate the atmosphere, the sea in which we live. If you want to affect all the fish, what you do, you affect the sea.
Researchers using Google Maps discovered what appeared to be a huge undersea entrance to the US landmass nearly 7 miles off the coast of Malibu. The size of the overall structure is massive. The plateau over the entrance is approximately 1.4 miles.
There's two kinds of places on the Earth. There are continents, which stand high because they're made out of light materials. And then there are the oceans, which sit low in basins because they're made out of rocks that are more dense.
When I started doing HAARP, when I helped put up the towers at the Tacoma, it was put up with the idea we were doing it for an oil company. We were putting it up there for what they called tomography.
Earthquakes are hitting everywhere. Earthquake hit Washington, D.C. About 13 hours after the oil well in the Gulf was capped, and the sea floor is now seepage. It's happening. It's bleeding.
This is atypical. This is never... I mean, how many times have you seen this? Okay. That is HAARP. Okay. They are making these severe tornadoes.
The CIA thought they could create a lot of potentials. And they were looking at two sort of sides of the equation. They were looking at enhancing human potentials, as well as, what could you learn about how to degrade a human being, by manipulating the brain or behavior itself.
This is not natural. This is man-made high pressure in the jet stream caused by the ionospheric heater, formerly known as HAARP.
Moving on to other ways of managing the ionosphere, which the HAARP was really designed to do, was to inject energy into the ionosphere, be able to actually control it. But that work has been completed.
Then you see these bands of very distinct cloud cover moving into the region. That is not rain, that is not snow. Believe it or not, military aircraft flying through the region, dropping chaff, small bits of aluminum.
But as we look at HAARP, the primary idea is to affect this ionosphere and then affect these magnetic field lines. And ideally, you want to affect those magnetic field lines and the closest place to which they intersect the planet, which happens to be at the poles.
We went from weapons that could target individuals, swords, bows, guns, to weapons that could target groups of individuals, Greek fire, artillery.
Well, we are living in a sea of energy, and if you can impact upon that sea, you impact upon anyone who is interacting with it.
The undersea entrance is about 2,700 feet wide and 630 feet tall. The top of the structure is 1,500 feet below the ocean surface, and the bottom is about 2,300 feet deep.
The old sitting high continents are spreading apart from each other because in the oceans, new rocks are made at mid-oceanic ridge spreading centers.
We came back a year later and it was occupied by the Navy and the Air Force. And we finished doing a tune-up on it and putting in all the transmitting antenna wires.
And that's why the pressures are staying around 6,700 PSI. They are not getting up in that 8,000 to 9,000 range, is because the well is cracked and the sea floor is bleeding.
You're going to get a cut in the clouds. It's going to happen, right? Coming up, bam, like that. See that right there? That is not normal. This is HAARP, H-A-A-R-P activity, in my opinion.
What he did is he took people into a very deep state of hypnosis, and then over 9 to 10 months could program into that individual sort of a second personality or a split personality, where one would have full knowledge of one, sort of the existence of the other, and the other would have no knowledge.
This is visible light mode, and the sun is going down. And also these HAARP weather warfare machines, they only work in the daytime, and I'll explain that in a minute.
The Air Force has gotten great value out of HAARP in the past. We took over from the Navy and managed it and actually did a number of experiment campaigns up there, and have finished our work that we're interested in doing up there.
Small bits of aluminum, sometimes it's made of plastic, or even metallicized paper product. Now, they won't confirm that, but I was in the Marine Corps for many years, and I'll tell you right now, that's what it is.
Where Alaska sits on a map, very near the poles, the furthest northern territory in the United States, where you could locate a facility on U.S. territory that you could inject energy directly into the magnetic field lines of the Earth.
Weapons that could target whole battlefields, chemical and biological weapons, rather chemical weapons. Then we went to those that could target whole cultures, whole ethnicities, the biological weapons.
And one of the ways that they are doing it is by attacking and manipulating the energy sea field that we interact with, so that it is suppressing our ability to open and expand.
After that, it became a test subject occupied by the Air Force and the Navy. And that's when I started seeing things happen going wrong.
So you could send this new personality into, say, a foreign country. They could act as a spy, and if they got captured, they wouldn't be able to tell you anything. And he actually developed this series of techniques. They were classified by the mid-30s.
What did they say? Oh my gosh, this is immoral. We can't do this? No, they said, how do we change America so that America will be willing to accept us playing with these toys? This is the tail wagging the dog.
For years and years now, I've been ticking off more and more sources of radiation that humans are subjected to. I met an Oxford Don, and she had started to see that what I'm talking about now was real.
Understand, it was devised to be a tomography instrument, and it got taken over by the military. What they found out was it started interfering with the ionosphere.
He went on and published a lot of things in this area. Started to begin sort of resurface. You didn't hear much about it until around the Korean War, and then after the Korean War, many will remember returning prisoners of war that were exhibiting very bizarre behavior.
And this is an aspect of this, is that we're being fed a world of disinformation on a continuing basis. And
when they found that out, it became an experiment. And it's been an experiment for a multitude of weaponry ever since.
Now we're at the point where with the electromagnetic weapons, we can target the whole planet. We can target whole continents. We can target whole hemispheres.